a town so peaceful, so still, that people believed nothing bad could ever happen there. That place was called Sleepy Hollow. Hidden deep in the countryside, the town had a strange reputation, not for crime, not for violence, but for something far more unsettling: stories, whispers, legends. And among all the stories told in Sleepy Hollow, one stood above the rest: the story of a ghost, a rider, a man who had no head. They said he was once a soldier, fighting in a war long forgotten, until one day, a cannonball tore his head from his body. Now, he rides, night after night, searching for the head he lost. Most people laughed at the story. They called it nonsense, something to scare children, but not everyone. There was a man, a schoolteacher, new to the town. His name was Ichabod Crane, tall, thin, nervous, the kind of man who believed every ghost story he heard. And in Sleepy Hollow, that was a dangerous thing. Ichabod quickly became part of the town, teaching during the day, listening to stories at night. Stories of spirits, of shadows, of things that moved in the dark. But there was something else that caught his attention. Someone, a young woman named Katrina Van Tassel, beautiful, charming, daughter of a wealthy farmer. Ichabod fell for her almost instantly, but he wasn't the only one. There was another man, strong, confident, feared by many. His name was Brom Bones. And unlike Ichabod, Brom wasn't afraid of anything, not even the headless horseman. In fact, he laughed at it. But when he saw Ichabod getting closer to Katrina, the laughter stopped. Because now, it wasn't just a story anymore, it was competition. One night, everything changed. A party was held at Katrina's house. Music, laughter, dancing. Ichabod was there, trying to impress her, trying to win her heart. But Brom was watching, quietly, carefully. And as the night came to an end, Ichabod left alone. The road home was long, dark, silent. The kind of silence that makes you feel like you're not alone. At first, it was nothing, just the sound of his horse walking slowly along the path. Then, he heard something else, another horse, behind him. Ichabod turned, but saw nothing. He kept moving, faster now. The sound came again, closer, louder. This time, he saw it, a figure, on horseback, following him, tall, still, watching. Ichabod's heart began to race. He tried to ignore it, tried to convince himself it was nothing. But then, the figure moved closer, close enough for him to see the truth. It had no head, just darkness where a face should be, the headless horseman. Ichabod panicked. He kicked his horse forward, running, desperate to escape. But the rider followed, faster, closer. The sound of hooves thundered through the night. Ichabod didn't look back again. He didn't need to. He could feel it, right behind him. Then suddenly, the rider raised something into the air and threw it. It struck Ichabod, hard. Everything went dark. The next morning, the town woke to strange news. Ichabod Crane was gone. No body, no sign of him. Just one thing left behind, his hat. And beside it, a shattered pumpkin. Some believed it was the headless horseman, that the ghost had finally claimed another victim. Others believed something else, that it was never a ghost at all, that it was a man. And that man was Brom Bones. Because not long after, Brom married Katrina and lived happily ever after. But even then, people still whispered. Because on quiet nights, when the wind is still and the road is empty, some say they still hear it, the sound of hooves. And if you look into the darkness long enough, you might see him, riding, searching, still looking